So, a very good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. So, my name is Hannah Kezia, and I work as a program coordinator for the Sphere India Academy. And I'm really excited to welcome all of you to today's session, which we have titled Best Practices and Case Studies of Education Emergency Implementations from India. So, to give you a bit of background, we have an education sector committee at Sphere where we have brought together experts working in this field together, and we had a common goal that we need to sensitize people about the idea of education in emergency. So with that mission in mind, we have started a series of sessions. So our first session was on what is EIE and what are the fundamentals of EIE. So it is I will in a while share the link of the first session. It was The session was very useful in terms of understanding the basic concepts of EI. And now this is our second session where we wanted to know what are the current implementation or initiatives that different organizations take in India in the field. So to understand more, we had circulated a few, a survey to different organizations to hear from them what exactly they have been doing in the field. So I believe this will be a good platform for us to understand, a good platform for knowledge sharing. So as you all know, so what exactly is EIE? Just to brush your idea, simply put, it's about making sure, kids get to continue their education during and after disasters. Most of the times it's a case that after a disaster there's a sudden halt to the education in many different ways. Let's say schools are all turned into relief camps. In some of the vulnerable cases, girls' child, there's a stop to education and a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of psychosocial impacts happening after disaster. So EIE helps protect children, offers them psychosocial support, and plays a very big role in rebuilding communities. So when we maintain access to education during crisis, we are not just helping kids learn, we are also supporting their mental health being, fostering resilience, and aiding in both immediate and long-term recovery. So we believe that every organization, either you work directly or indirectly with children, should be equipped with EIE, and we aim to do more and more uh, webinars and trainings on this session. So in India, as I've mentioned before, many national and local organizations have come up with innovative ways in their own capacities, to make sure that education continues even in the tougher situations. So they've tailored their approach to meet the specific needs of the affected community that they're working with. So in today's session, like building on the foundational knowledge that we had from the previous, we aim to showcase some impactful EIE initiatives. Um, so I think without any further delay, we can get into the session. So once again, I welcome each and every one of you for being with us. And I also encourage everyone to actively participate during the sessions if you have questions. And we would like to make it more interactive. And also, if any of the participants that are here, if you or in your organizations, if you know some works, you please feel free to share it in the chat box also. So I'll start the session now. So our first speaker that we have today with us is Mr. Naveen Shukla, who is working as Assistant Manager Projects at Bal Raksha Bharat. He is a climate advocate, public health specialist, and humanitarian and school safety practitioner, focusing on education in emergency and health in emergency. So, sir, over to you. We look forward to hear from you what, as an organization, Bal Raksha Bharat does in EIE. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Hannah and Sphere team, and thank you all for co-panelists as well as the audience. So am I audible to all?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so once my screen is visible, please confirm. My screen is visible to all?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, so good morning all. So this is regarding the best practice we did in Uttarakhand, Joshimath. I think you all are heard that Joshimath is shrinking. So we start intervention in 2023. So our focus is to ensure the safety of the children and learning continuity. So we have three major intervention during this crisis time. So I will talk about more into it. So one is the child protection in disaster and emergency. Second is the education in emergency. Third is the early childhood care in disaster and emergency. So what during this 1 year of course of time, what we learned from that particular intervention and what we are doing, so that I'm going to showcase about it. So the agenda of the entire presentation would be I'll introduce why we did it and the land subsidence which has happened in the Joshimath. Third is the purpose and why we intervening into, and what are the best practices that we have learned through these interventions. So overview of this program intervention. So first, I would like to talk about the Joshimath. So Joshimath is a municipality which is in the district of the Chamoli. It is one of the remotest district, and it is situated around a 6,150 feet above the sea level. And this town, the history of this town is fragile, and it is one of the multi-hazard prone areas. So in past, we have seen a lot of the humanitarian crisis in the Joshimath, like Reedy disaster, where the cloudburst has happened. There is also an earthquake in 1990. In 2013, we have seen the Kedarnath flood. So similar kind of the disaster has happened in the Joshimath. So it is a kind of the multi-hazard prone areas. So what was the situation in Joshimath earlier when we start? So in 2022, the Joshimath has seen the land subsidence, because Joshimath is based out of the old ancient kind of the garbage where it has been situated. So right now, this has been the entire town has been shrinking, and most of the areas has been declared as an unsafe zone. So mostly Joshimath in Joshimath there is around 9 wards, out of which 9 wards, around 7 wards has been extremely in a situation of danger situation, which is being mostly evacuated, and people they are staying in a shelter zone. So and Joshimath, if we talk about the characteristic of Joshimath, so it is a way to the Badrinath. This is the around I think 40 kilometer. From Joshimath, Badrinath is around a 40 kilometer, and people there from the different state who are coming to visit the Badrinath. That is the only route to visit the Badrinath. Around more than I think 10 lakh 20 lakh people they are visiting every year. And second is a Oli, which is around a 15 kilometer far from the Joshimath. So this is also a tourist spot. So there is a major characteristic of this Joshimath. So the land subsidence started from December of 27 December 2022 to 8 January 2023. It has been shown that the 9 Joshimath town was shrinking, and the study came out which shows that the shrinking is being still going on. And through a CBRE study, they have been telling that in Joshimath, a solid rock is not available till the depth of the 80 meter. So this is the situation still in the Joshimath. So it is a kind of the recurring disaster which has been initiated in 2023, and still the people they are in a fear, they are in a trauma. So that the condition was that, and still the condition remains same. There is around 4,500 families in Joshimath, out of which 868 families in the town. An estimated population of 25,000 has been marked as an unsafe residence, which is a majorly ward of the ward number 1, ward number 4, ward number 5, and ward number 7. This has been divided into the majorly 3 zones. One is zone green, zone red. Second is zone green, and third is the zone buffer. So out of 4,500 families, 868 families are being marked as a red zone. And you have seen in the picture there, the household which are been coming into the red zone are being demolished, and there are few hotels that is also been demolished, and there are few schools that is also been demolished. And right now, so this is the zone where no construction zone is being declared by the government of Uttarakhand. So so what was the need at that time when we started responding? So there was a major need coming out that this Anganwadi center was shut down. So 12 Anganwadi center, which was under the red zone, were totally shut down, and the no services were being started. And second was the mental health, because there is around 278 families who are staying in the hotels, shelter camps. So in a hotel, there are only a one room allocated for the larger families, and that was not sufficient for these families to cater their basic needs. And in a hotel like situation, people, they are not able to cope up. They are not able to manage their daily routine. So that's why all these 270 families and 1,300 children, mental health was also been majorly severely impacted. Third is the education continuity. Because around, I think, in a red zone area, 25 schools are into fall, and out of which 3 schools are totally shut down due to the major cracks, and the education continuity was also been impacted. Almost initially for 3 months, and longer duration, there was all 3 schools were still not in a condition to continue their education. Fourth is also the family preparedness. As I mentioned, that 868 families, they don't have any solution what to do and how to do, because at that time there was a fear, there was a trauma, there was a kind of the issues that the family was facing, that what they are supposed to, what is their future. So that was the major kind of the issues. So BRB has initiated the response in collaboration with the district administration. So we came to know that they are able to manage the relief camps. They are managed to able to manage the water and sanitation issue. They are able to manage the health issues. But they want us to support in 3 major areas. So one they have focusing on the continuity of the education, because the schools were shut and children are in a high vulnerable areas. So they have asked us to support in the continuity of the education. Second one is the child protection, because around the 1,300 children who are not having any kind of the solution specifically in a protection zone, because in shelter camps there is no kind of the no major protection related issue. Services that has been provided by the district administration. Third is the early childhood care in emergencies. So third, why we are talking about the early childhood care in emergencies, because ICDS centers was totally shut down. There is around 27 ICDS center, out of which 13 ICDS centers was totally shut down, and the services, all 6 services were being impacted, and no longer is being able to continue. So district administration has asked us to provide the services in three major areas. So we have focused on the age-appropriate intervention. So age-appropriate intervention would be focused on the three major pillars. One is the 3 to 6 year age group. So what we did to identify 3 to 6 year age group, and 6 to 14 year age group, and adults. And fourth thing is the government segment. So what we did in the 3 to 6 year, so we have identified 226 children who were enrolled in the our CFS. So we have set up around 8 CFS in those red zone, which is a safe space for the children to continue their education, to provide the protection, and also to learn and grow there. So we have set up, initially we set up 4, but later on, as per the demand, as per the need, government has asked to increase the number, and the gradually it been increased 4 to 8 numbers. We have provided the learning kit and education kit for these 3 to 6 year children. Also the kit of the winterization. So because the Joshimath is a kind of the area which is a harsh weather, basically in the winter area. So it is being a kind of the temperature is going -2 to 5 degree temperature. So the winterization kit has been serving the purpose to safeguard themselves from the harsh winter conditions. So we have also provided the 226 ventilation kits. Third is we have trained the ICTS staff. So we have created a cadre of the ICDS staff. All 27 Anganwadi and helper were the part of this initiative on how to ensure the continuity of the services at the center. If the center is not in functioning, how to identify the alternate spaces, how to identify the alternate ways to deliver the services. So we have provide the capacity building workshop for all these Anganwadi center supervisors as well as the CDPOs to ensure the continuity of the ICDS service in disaster and emergency situations. Second, 6 to 14-year age group. Uh, this group is basically we focus on the EiE. So education in emergency, because the schools were closed, and we have focused three ways. One is the continuity of education through the CFS, because CFS has been set up in those red zone only where the school is being impacted. So we have set up 4 CFS, and all the children who are studying in the school are coming to this center to continue their education, and teacher will also be the part of this center. So they are continuing their education in this particular area. So we have provided, because during that emergency period, they have come and stay in the shelter spaces where they don't have any education material. So first, because material is also important to continue their learning, so we have provided a specialized kit for the age appropriate 6 to 14-year children to continue their education. There is also marginalized category of the children which has been migrated from the Nepal and other state of the India, and they, especially from the different intra-country state, because they are migrated from the Nepal. They doesn't have any ID proof. They doesn't have any kind of the a proof of Indian. So they are kind of not getting any kind of the services in Indian context, like not ICDS services, not a kind of the education services. So these children are also been the part of this CFS, child-friendly spaces. And third is also the especially able children, because in Joshimath we found that that around 50 to 60 children who are especially able and are not able to getting the education. So we are also included these children into the education part, so that they can also learn. They can also be the part of the groups, and that inclusiveness will be coming into the picture. Third is the regular academic and recreational activities in 8 CFS. So around 478 children who are enrolled in these CFS were the part of the academic as the recreational activity. So our focus is on the three ways to learn. One is the creative learning. Second is the imaginative and physical learning and communicative learning. So these are the different activities we have conducted in those CFS, like a painting kind of the thing, physical yoga, and basically a creative and imaginative thinking. So all this material has been provided into the child-friendly spaces to continue their education. Third is also adult, which played a critical role into this the entire intervention to come together as a the whole intervention is around the community intervention. So we have also giving the responsibility to the community groups, specifically a kind of the community group who has been a Mahila Mangal, a kind of mother groups has been there, parent teacher association is there, also a local youth group. So we give the responsibility, not a kind of specifically a responsibility, but we collaborate with them, and we understood their need, and also we come up with solutions so that how they can own this center and they can run by themselves. So we have identified the mother group. There is around I think 80 women who have been the part of this mother group in all these areas. So we have identified, we have tell them why we are setting this CFS, what is the purpose of this CFS. So they should understand that it could be help to cope up the families who are in the part of this initiative. Second is that we also train the teachers, because the all 28 schools who have been which have been impacted to this the recurring disaster. So we train the teachers on one part on education continuity, and second is the mental health and psychosocial health, so that once the school will be in a position to start the education, so first the teacher could conduct the counseling session with the children. So first we have also deputed our counselor. Also we train the teachers to conduct the counseling sessions in their school. Second is we strengthen the Anganwadi center. So we have also created a cadre of the Anganwadi center through the early literacy and math training and early childhood care and emergency training. Third is we families and community preparedness. So we, as all 9 wards plus the 2 villages which have been more impacted. One is the Pagno, and second Pagno is which is basically I think 22 kilometers far from the Joshimath area. It is also one of the major impacted by the landslide. So, and second is the area of the Thang, which has been the school was totally damaged due to this landslide. So this has been a total 11 community which came into the picture. So we have identified all those community peoples, and we have identified all these people. They are staying in the Joshimath, and we make a kind of the community group for the disaster preparedness. So we conducted 3 kind of the community activities. One is the family preparedness. Second, in family preparedness, we create a kind of the family disaster management planning. We ensure that the family is equipped with the basic emergency kit, so that at a kind of the any further situation, so that they can be able in a position to safeguard their family and as well as their children. So this family preparedness initiative has been taken. Second is the community disaster preparedness. So we have prepared a kind of community disaster management plan. We have trained the community volunteers specifically of task force trainings, and we have conducted a mock drill, including the community. A third, fourth component is also we have trained the 80 women's on a livelihood component. So they have the traditional livelihood sources, like they are making the jams, they are making their local products. So this kind of the product they are making, but they have a certain limitation. So we collaborate with several partners, training partners at a national level, and we have conducted this training and provide the equipment so that they can improve their livelihood, their income generation, and they can sustain their economical growth. So this intervention we did with the community. And fourth is we also collaborate with the district administration, specifically the Department of Education, primary and elementary education, when in child development department, as well as the district disaster management department and state disaster management department for their regular support and intervention. So these are the major intervention that Bal Raksha Bharat did in Joshimath. So this will be focusing on the 2 aspects. One is the humanitarian aspect as well as the development. So we work on the both nexus. One is the humanitarian and development nexus together. So these are some photographs of the intervention which we did in the Joshimath. So the first photograph is talking about how children they are getting the education services in the CFS. Second is the recreational activities, how their children the creative learnings and imaginative learnings. Third is the mental health session, community group sessions which we have conducted with the support of the psychosocial team, kind of counselors. Second is the training capacity and relief work. So we have conducted meetings with the community group. We have provided the school safety kit. We have conducted the session on psychosocial and mental health. Fourth is the education and emergency training with the teachers. And fifth is providing the educational kit for 3 to 6 and 6 to 14-year children. So what we have learned through intervention, which is very important for all of us, then how we can replicate in our intervention area. So first is enabling a safe space during an emergency. As I mentioned in my previous slide, that the Joshimath is a kind of the recurring disaster, which has been not yet over. And what will be the future course of action, we might not be knowing into it, because it's a kind of the situation where the people they are into very much into the disaster. Generally, what have happened when the disaster been occurred, we responded, we built back better, and we came back. But in this situation, it is still a disaster situation where the families are being string in the same situation. So how our response can be effectively evolve, and what we have learned from this intervention. So first, the enabling safe space during emergencies for the children. So as I mentioned that we have established around eight child-friendly spaces in the affected area, which is ensuring the physical, social, and emotional well-being of the children into a disaster situation. Second, as the CFS is providing the educational session as well as the mental health resilience building sessions and recreational activities along with the need base of psychosocial first aid. Third is the continuity of the Anganwadi services affected by the disaster. Around the 92 children are being enrolled in the 12 Anganwadi centers. So these all the children are getting the services in the Anganwadi, in the CFS as well as the Anganwadi centers. So we have reached directly serve around 1,319 children who are being enrolled in these CFS. Also, earlier in the beginning of the response, we have initiated the 4 CFS, and now we have around 8 CFS, out of which all the CFS is being owned by the district administration, and the schools are being running in these CFS is the remotest areas of the Joshimath. Fourth is the response actively engage the community members, volunteers, youth group, Mahila Mangal groups, and local municipalities, so that the collaborative approach of disaster efforts can be enhanced the strengthening of the local support and the network and the resilience of the community. So the holistic approach was what we did is the promoting the well-being, scalability, and adaptability of this community impacted through this disaster. And we that some of the basically communities and the ward members, community stakeholder, they come up with the another kind of the suggestion that why not we did in Joshimath, we can replicate into the other areas of the geography, other areas of the Chamoli district as well as the state. And they also suggested to come for the women education and entrepreneurship development support. So this intervention was the best practices that we followed during that emergency response. Second, ensuring learning continuity of the children during school closure. So the school are still closed, specifically those 5 schools, 3 in Joshimath and 2 in the nearby villages. So the condition, the children who are studying on those schools are being still the part of these centers. So first we started these child-friendly spaces. Gradually it could be converted into the temporary learning center. So temporary learning center is the place where the school education is being continuous. So this could be the turn into the CFS turn into the temporary learning center. So generally temporary learning center is basically a bridging the gap of educational gap and emphasize the maintaining of the education continuity and the services at the community level. So these temporary learning center is basically the education center of 486 children where they are still studying, they are continuing their education. Second, VRB has supported the education and ICDS department to restart the education activity immediate after the disaster situation. And now the entire services has been resumed and running into this temporary learning center. Then third is the basically 4 out of the 8 center is transited to the government. So the government has been adopted all the center and is being provided by the all the services is provided by the Anganwadi center as well as the education department. So this best practices it been showing that how the small effort can be impacted a large society. Third is a psychosocial and mental health support. So in this kind of the situation where the families they doesn't have the proper houses, they doesn't have the future course of action. They don't know what to do in future. They don't know what the response that they are supposed to do. So their mental condition was also been severely impacted. So we have started the initiative of providing the psychosocial mental health support specifically in the child friendly spaces. So during this kind of the emergency situation, if I focusing on this, the how we can ensure the mental health condition is being improved of the children of 1300 children as well as their 278 families. So we have majorly, as I mentioned, we have targeted three major areas. One is the teachers training. Second is the children who have been enrolled in the CFS. So there are two kind of the children who have been enrolled. One is the especially able children who are basically a deaf and dumb children, and second is the visually impacted children. So these kind of the children are been the part of this CFS. So we have also conducted the several one-to-one counseling as well as the group counseling session with with the children and their families to ensure the mental health of this families to be ensured and improved. This session is integrated in basically a mindfulness, emotional expression, and as well as a group counseling session. Then, as I mentioned, the training we did with the teachers. So they have also conducting the session with their school children who has been start coming to the schools because the condition of the children were not been in the situation where they can continue the education. So first they starting the counseling session with the children, and thereafter starting their education activities. So this is the best practices that we have learned from the Joshimat responses. So thank you, and over to Hannah.
Yeah, thank you so much for very nicely, comprehensively putting it together. So, some of the key points that I like, some of the activities that I could figure out was like training teachers, education kids, recreational activities, the PSS. You have given a lot of importance for that PSS training, and and more child-friendly spaces. And something I really would like to emphasize was um, this whole project. I could understand that we have utilized the existing systems like Anganwadis and other government initiatives. So it was not much of a duplication of it, and it was in a way strengthening the system also. So thank you so much for sharing that. I would like to move on to our next speaker. I would like to welcome Mr. Joachim Campo, sir. He has 25 years of experience. Primarily, his work with World Vision, and currently he's associated with State for past 2 years. So, sir, over to you. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much. While my previous speaker was sharing, I was thinking about because I was in 2013 in Chamoli district for the relief, addressing the relief, and we am so our staff and Save the Children staff. We used to have the same restaurant. Having in the evening, we used to meet each other, particularly in the Joshimut area. Anyhow, uh, Hannah, can you put my slides here? Fine. Hannah already shared my last 25 years gained my most experience from my work with World Vision India. Despite I'm still doing currently, I'm associated with SPADE for past 2 years. Beside this, I was not member of the HEA, means Humanitarian Emergency Affairs staff at World Vision India, but I was deputed in the large scale relief efforts taking place in the country. Basically, I was in Kolkata based. So I'm eager to share my hands-on experience from my time spent in those reliefs. So as Hannah was given the topics and also I was told to complete by within 10 minutes, so I will try my best to complete within 8 minutes and last 2 minutes in addition or any clarity that I can put. Organization mission and activities in emergency access to continue equitable, inclusive, and education in life sustaining. In order to restore a sense of normalcy and alleviate the psychological impact of violence and displacement, education plays a crucial role in the providing children and communities with the necessary tools. So World Vision also in the part of the humanitarian response collaborates with the communities and governments and other like-minded NGOs and actors at the all levels to ensure the children have the opportunity to receive formal education. Whenever we address any relief, our first priority, children, and second, the victimized people, not our organization. Next. Next slide. Fine. So mainly, what is emergency program we initiated? My involved was there in terms of earthquake, Bhuj earthquake, 2001, then North Sikkim earthquake in September 2011, tsunami Tamil Nadu. I was not very long time. Tamil Nadu 2004, flash flood, Kashmir flash flood due to cloudburst 2010, and Uttarakhand flash flood in 2013, and communal riot, Kokrajhar Assam ethnic conflict 2012. So mostly I involved in this major, but I'm saying not this. More because Shehar, 1990, sorry, 98. Then what is called super cyclone in Odisha. There also my involvement was there, but not much. Next. Next slide, please. Fine. Good practice of nation. Firstly, education of the children is provided in the child-friendly space. Already, the programs from Save the Children shared. Emphasize the child-friendly space for education during the major disaster, as mentioned in the previous slide also. Minimum education provided through child-friendly space. Education was arranged there, and for some days, dry food was arranged for the students. Beside exercise books, drawing books, pens, and pencils were provided to the students to just to motivate them and divert from the situation. Again, school repairs and school furniture were provided through the rehabilitation project at some places, mainly in the Malda 2000. Sorry, 2009, actually, yes, 96, sorry, 2095. We have some school also, so we have provided school benches, we repaired the building, etc. Next, there is two pictures. One is Kokrajhar Assam. That it is basically local NGO. We have provided it's a big warehouse there, so people where rehab there. So we arrange that child friendly space and mainly the education with the support of UNICEF, one local NGO. And right side picture, recent, just last speaker was sharing about the Joshimat. It is beyond the Joshimat, about beside that, I forgot the name of the place that is beside the thermal power. That is a one place little up. There we used to child friendly that we educated the children through playway method. Next. This is important. I feel so what Hannah has given this topic, challenging implementation emergency in education. So the casualty rate of these calamities was so high. Any disaster that education system were secondary to them. Even sometimes, most of the time, we also don't ponder, we don't think of the education to provide the quality education to the children. Many families migrated from one region to another, resulting in low school attendance even after school opened. Many educational institutes stayed in relief camps that really hamper to continue their school for the long days, thereby disrupting the resumption of education for children. These are big challenges. The lockdown imposed during the COVID-19, recently we experienced COVID-19 pandemic caused significant disruptions to all education system, providing online education to marginalized children, such as street children and those living in the slums or squatters, was particularly challenging due to the lack of access to phones. It is very difficult for them to continue the school, though we support them to go formal school, it was very difficult for them to continue their education through online. Consequently, school dropout rates soared as these children were unable to engage with the school curriculum online. Additionally, individuals faced difficulties in the recharging their phones as their sources of income were severely impacted. I mean, their parents or mothers, there was no income. So how can they put recharge their phone? At that period, it was difficult for them to continue. Finally, education continues to begin low priority in the humanitarian response. That is my experience in my teamworks. Also, we felt that we are very we focus on the other matter, but so we don't focus much in education. Next. Innovative approaches. So it is. I'll never assert or declare our methods, mainly the world vision methods, were successful in any manner. Nevertheless, considering the urgent circumstances, the student have derived advantage from our assistance, which has been further boosted by government and the other philanthropic organizations like the Save the Children, UNICEF, and local NGOs. It is important to highlight that there is a slight increase in exploitation of children during this period uh, in the whether it is occurs at home, in the home also that's possible, in the local community, or even in the rehabilitation or relief camps. Therefore, it is advisable for children to remain with their families. Children can be grouped based on their age and gender when need, or if there are suitable facilities available in the relief camps. So it is very crucial to check it and focus on it. Utilizing methods such as play-based learning is highly effective in providing quality education, such as joyful learning, each one teach one, life skill for transformational development, LSTD in short, play for peace, and more other anything. And so it is advisable to continue in that child-friendly space or school during the emergency situation. The audiovisual approach may be utilized when deemed feasible and essential education possible. If the available, the current or the system or devices are available, then audiovisual approach could be provided. Educational content within school curriculum can be delivered through movies or suitable educational films, contingent upon the circumstances. It depends on the circumstances. So, what sort of film or what sort of support we can provide. Next. Measuring effectiveness and yes, right. Continuous learning is essential for the societal advantages in the education system become stagnant. It can disturb civilization, diminish innovative capacities, and impede overall process. It is unquestionable that ensuring quality education is challenging under these circumstances. Therefore, it is advisable to offer best education to students in order to sustain the continuity of learnings. And the basic education, I can tell it is would be mathematics, language, and a little history or science, which are possible in that circumstances. Collaboration with other social or educational institution is essential in order to deliver education service effectively. And we organize, world vision, and I feel that any organization cannot work in the silos. We need a good network with other NGOs to deliver services for the victims. Consequently, students will have access to learning opportunities, enable them to reintegrate into the normal formal education system post-emergency. Additionally, there will be a significant decrease in the rate of school dropouts. Next. Success stories, I cannot say it's a success stories. Some of the stories we have, very few. Uh, Earthquake in the North Sikkim 18th September caused extensive damage in which many school buildings collapsed and several schools were partially damaged, resulting in disruption of the education system. But 3 days after the earthquake, the director of North Sikkim Education Department ordered that the school education be resumed. Here, what happened? He told us that we are providing some food and other educational kit. And Oxfam at that time, they have given us a tarpaulin sheet. So the director ordered to the school departments if there is not space in the school building because some school building collapsed, some partly collapsed. So they told us the outside, the free space to make a shelter and continue the school there. School means formal school there, not a child-friendly space. Then severe rainfall towards the end of the July and beginning of August 2015 led to extensive flooding in the East Burdwan district of West Bengal, resulting in the significant damage to both people and properties in Purbusthali 1 and Purbusthali 2 blocks. This natural disaster also had notable impact on the local education sector. For the initial 10 days for August, numerous schools in the affected areas remained closed. So at that time, our team, we are doing the assessment. Besides the assessment, as a part of our organization assessment efforts, our staff dedicated 2 to 3 hours to specialized education session for the students in the various school covering topics, wash, games, and drawings. Next. Nothing else. Next. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm through in 8 minutes. And any addition or any queries that I can address.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir, for explaining the case studies and the challenges. So I think there is a lot that we can discuss about the challenges part, and we can also hear from other organizations how they have met it. So since we are running a bit out of time, I'll move on to our next speaker, and then we can come back, to you with the questions. So I now welcome Ms. Seema Rajput, who is working as a technical director, policy and advocacy at India Partnership for Early Learning under CARE USA. So she has more than 15 years of experience working in development sector with focus on child inequity, gender and equity issues. She's very passionate about working with out-of-school children in order to ensure they have right to education. Ma'am, so without any delay, I would like to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. I'm glad to have this opportunity to share one of the key initiatives by CARE India on education in emergency. This intervention called Jharkhand COVID Response Program, and it was undertaken during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the duration of the project was only 8 months. It was very, very challenging for us. So we started this project sometime in November 2021. And concluded in June 2022. So in this project was undertaken in partnership with the Jharkhand Education Project Council, that is the Department of Education in Jharkhand. And since we have only 10 minutes, so I thought of sharing this through a very interesting video which captures all the key elements of this project. And this is around a 6-minute, little more than 6-minute video. And after this video, I will quickly discuss about the some of the innovations. We thought that it was innovation as part of the project. Some of the key challenges, of course, we faced a lot of challenges in this project during the implementation. And what were some of the key measures taken to capture the impact of this program? So I will request Hannah to please run the video. And meanwhile, you can also share the project brief and the impact brief which we could develop out of the learning of this project and to share with the participants for more understanding about the initiatives. So Hannah, can you please run the video?
In the 21st century, rapid strides have been undertaken to ensure that education in India is accessible to all. With a large part of the country's population residing in the rural heartland, creating accessibility and ensuring equitable distribution of educational resources is a complex task for the government and its subsidiaries. The COVID-19 pandemic amplified these challenges, forcing long closure of schools and severing the connection between students and their learning spaces.
कोरोना काल में तो सब बच्चा बुड़बक बन गया था, 1-2 पढ़ने के लिए 1-2 पढ़ने के लिए भूल गया था।
हम लोग जब विजिट किए तो देखे बच्चे अपना नाम तक बोलने भूल चुके थे,
अपना 5 आंगुली लेकर गिनते भूल गया था। 10 आंगुली है ना सबका, वो तो 10 में 20 बोलने भी नहीं जानता था।
गांव देहात के लोग जैसे बाहर भी बहुत कोई जाते थे मजदूरी के लिए, उनके लिए तो ये बहुत बड़ी समस्या थी। और अगर पेरेंट्स के पास ही समस्या रहेगी तो बच्चे को कैसे पढ़ाएंगे?
Among the affected, primary graders, first generation learners, girls and students from marginalized communities were especially at risk. To gauge the impact of the pandemic on these vulnerable groups, Care India conducted a survey across 5 states where it assessed the concerns of teachers, parents and students about learning loss. A majority of the surveyed students, and especially female students, responded by stating that they either could not access their parents' mobile phones for online education or were reluctant in switching over to digital learning systems. States such as Jharkhand responded proactively to combat these challenges. To further aid the government, Care India collaborated with the Jharkhand Education Project Council and devised holistic solutions to bridge educational gaps and prevent learning loss among students from tribal communities. The Right to Education Act 2009 mandates that school management committees be constituted to safeguard the rights of the children and ensure quality education.
एसएमसी जो है विद्यालय प्रबंधन समिति होते हैं, ये गांव के ही क्षेत्र के लोग होते हैं जिनके बच्चे स्कूल में पढ़ते हैं। स्कूल को अपने गांव के स्कूल को कंट्रोल करना उनके हाथ में है। अगर गांव वाले चाहेंगे, ग्रामीण चाहेंगे, एसएमसी चाहेंगे तो स्कूल बहुत बेहतर हो सकता है।
CARE's approach centered around the realization that SMCs, being a local stakeholder, could play a critical role in setting up and administering safe community learning spaces for students during emergency situations such as the pandemic. SMCs were capacitated through a rigorous training program to manage the implementation of a 3-pronged approach devised to drive educational recovery in primary grade students. The components of the approach include: first, identification and setting up community learning centers or CLCs. Second, developing safety protocols to be implemented at the CLCs. And third, adopting an accelerated learning approach to bridge learning loss.
फायदा इस चीज का मिला कि कोई हमें सपोर्ट कर रहा है, इंकरेज कर रहा है कि आगे बढ़िए।
इधर देखती हूँ वहाँ क्या क्या सामग्री मिला है, नहीं मिला है, उसको टीचर यूज कर रही है, नहीं कर रही है, उन सबको देखती हूँ।
खास तौर से देख रेख होता है और जो भी समस्या होती है सेंटर पे तो उसको हम निवारण करने का प्रयास करते हैं।
जाते हैं, देखते हैं, परीक्षण करते हैं और सोचते हैं कि शिक्षा का स्तर और आगे बढ़े।
Community volunteers were co-opted into the program to run the CLCs with support from the school management committee and to integrate joyful learning techniques into the teaching at the centers. Care India developed an accelerated learning kit and a COVID safety kit, bundled with essential supplies such as storybooks, stationery items, masks, sanitizers, and a complaint box for grievance redressal, amongst other things. A strong monitoring mechanism was also developed and put in place to track the progress of the intervention at large. After 5 months of continuous classes, both language and numeracy skills of the students showed remarkable improvements, illustrating the progress made through joyful learning.
उन लोग इतना अच्छा से बच्चा लोग आकर्षित किया। पहला चीज है बच्चों आकर्षित करना। जो बच्चा शिक्षा से थोड़ा सा पीछे छूट गए थे वो सबसे आगे अभी हो गया।
हम लोगों ने वैसा तरीका अपनाया जैसे खेल खेल के माध्यम से बच्चों को पढ़ाना, बाल गीत वगैरह ये सब। तो पहले जो बच्चे कुछ नहीं जानते थे, अभी इस काम के लास्ट तक में मैंने जब इम्प्लाइंट किया मुझे पता चला कि बच्चे अभी बहुत कुछ सीख चुके हैं।
मेरे बच्चे, छोटे बच्चे बिल्कुल नहीं जानते थे, अभी जानने लगे हैं। मेरी बेटी 2 क्लास में है, वो बहुत चीज़ें जानती है, खुद से पढ़ भी लेती है। और मेरा छोटा बेटा पहले हाथ नहीं धोता था, साफ सफाई से नहीं रहता, पर यहाँ ट्यूशन जब से करने लगा तब से वो अपना साफ सफाई का भी ध्यान रखने लगा।
The Jharkhand Learning Recovery Program reached 60,000 primary school students in over 800 villages across 3 districts, empowering more than 4,000 SMC members with the help of nearly 2,000 community volunteers.
मेरा मानना है कि रुक रुक के पढ़ने से बेहतर है लगातार पढ़ना, क्योंकि जो समय बर्बाद होता है वो समय वापस नहीं आता है।
एक शिक्षा ही ऐसा माध्यम है जो व्यक्ति को आगे ले जा सकता है, व्यक्ति का विकास कर सकता है, या मानसिक रूप से बोलिए, स्वास्थ्य रूप से बोलिए, या किसी भी क्षेत्र में।
अभी बच्चा लोग पढ़ाई कर रहा है, अच्छा ढंग से सीख गया, बच्चा लोग पढ़ रहा है, ढंग से पढ़ रहा है बच्चा लोग।
CARE continues to empower local stakeholders and facilitate native ecosystems to ensure that the state education departments can effectively continue post-COVID recovery.
So thank you for watching this video. And am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah. So I think the video is self-explanatory in terms of, capturing the key innovation of the project. But you must have noticed that this project was led by the school management committees. And we know that the Right to Education Act given the special power and responsibility for the school management committee members in the normal situation as well as during any emergency and disaster situation. So one of the innovation, we thought that how to create a resilient ecosystem for the continued learning of the children by empowering the school management committees, by empowering the PRIs and the local youth of the community. It really helped in promoting the ownership and accountability of the entire community in terms of continued learning and well-being of the children. So that was, we developed a very ambitious project, and we faced a lot of challenges, but we trust on the school management committee members that if they are given with the proper training programs, they can do anything, and they can ensure that there is a continued learning of the children, especially the primary graders, which were that for the entire 2 years project, the schools were closed and children were completely out of school. So we have a lot of research and evidence to show that how impacted on their learning and well-being. Second is the accelerated learning kit that was very, very innovatively designed to ensure that we have everything inside the kit which helps children to learn their to address their learning gaps. And the another thing is the gender responsive project design. That was very important because CARE is very passionate about the girls' education, and we know that pandemic has a gendered impact or effect on the education of the children. So in this project, we ensured that at least 50% of the girl child are part of this project, and we also made sure that how the post pandemic or when the schools were reopening, how we ensure that we do the gender sensitization of these school teachers, especially in these 3 districts, so that they are better equipped, that all the girl child in the community come back to school and their socio-emotional well-being are taken care of. And third thing, I would say the learning of the project in terms of 2 things. One is that we could have a negotiation with the state education department that rather than using the textbook when the school reopen and children come back, so textbook centric approach would not work, and we can have a very specially designed material which help the children who are coming very first time, the children who are in the grade 2, they come very first time to the school and they did not have any exposure to the Anganwadi, did not go to school at all. Then how a textbook will help in learning? So we have to design a very special material. So So the government was very sensitive and they used this material when the school reopened. And the second thing was the empowerment of the school management committee. So what kind of modules you develop and what kind of training programs you do to empower the school management committees was something that we could, support the department in terms of having particular sessions that during the emergency and disaster situation, how you can empower the SMC so that they ensure the continued learning of the children. If I quickly talk about the challenges, and I am happy to share those challenges with you all because we know that the pandemic was very, very challenging time for all of us. And given the geographical and the linguistic diversity of the Jharkhand, we faced a lot of challenges. So one was the motivation of the school management committee members. That was a huge challenge because you all know that, every 2 year or 3 year, there is a reformation of the SMCs. And that particular year in 2021, these SMCs were reformed and they were completely new members. They were not aware about their roles and responsibilities. So that was very, very big challenge for us. But the focused and a very simplified training program, both hybrid and the face-to-face training program by the project staff helped us in building their perspective and making them understand about their roles and responsibilities. And the second challenge was in terms of having a material in the local language of the children. We know that in these 3 districts, there are 3 or 4 languages spoken. And that was the big challenge that we did not have that material in the local dialect of the child. But fortunately, since the community volunteers were very much from the community, they knew all these languages. So through the training program, we could have some, perspective building session about the importance of the multilingual education. So these are some of the 2 challenges. And in terms of the monitoring, I know we are running short of time, Hannah. So and I'm happy to share the project impact brief with you. But the one thing is that in the entire monitoring of this project, SMCs played a very, very critical role in terms of ensuring that because they are the one who identified these centers, they are the one who recruited the local volunteers, they are the one who ensured that all the supplies which were sent by Care India, that is properly, well received by the centers and well utilized by the community volunteers. So they did the regular monitoring of the project, and we also had some digital monitoring through which we were getting regular information and update. So yeah, I would like to take a pause here, and I think we can share a lot of documents which was created out of this project. Thank you once again for giving us this opportunity to present. Thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And it was very interesting to hear about this initiative and the accelerated learning kit. I think it would be beneficial for everyone as long as we contextualize it. But it was very interesting to hear. And so I think now we can open the floor for any questions or discussions. If you can either raise your hand or you can simply unmute your mic if you'd like to ask any questions. So while Joachim sir was speaking, he also talked like education most of the times becomes like a second or a low priority area. So I was wondering, like, let's say in 3 to 4 days post a disaster, how do you convince, like when we go to a place to set up like a child friendly space or any other initiatives, how do we convince like the community or the parents, because they are themselves suffering from a lot of loss. So the challenge that he put forward, that education could be like a secondary or low priority, I was just curious, how do we handle that situation? If any of the speakers can share.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah, for your question. I could not completely understand, but what I understand is that, of course, in times of the emergency situation, saving life become more important than any other thing. And actually, while doing the projects around education in emergency in India and in other countries, the experience of CARE says that it's a myth that education takes a backseat. And the community, one of the key priority of the community is to ensure that how our children are getting the opportunities for continued learning, their psychosocial well-being are taken care of. And please believe me that we did this program in the tribal community and in the Muslim community in Haryana also, where you have a lot of religious beliefs and other challenges. But during that time also, community came forward and the religious leaders came forward in terms of ensuring that all the children getting exposure for the continued learning of the program and whatever they could do. For example, the safe learning space. We did not, spend any single penny. They are the one who identified what are the learning space and what the best they can do for their children. They were also providing food, despite it was not part of the intervention, but they knew that the children are going to be there for 2 to 3 hours, then they would need something. So water facility was of course there, but in terms of food, the community members took the responsibility that what kind of services they can offer to our children. So yeah.
Thank you. Is there any other questions, or since we have lectured throughout the time, we can close the section otherwise. We just wait for a few more minutes if anybody wants to push the question. All right. So we have reached the end of the session. Today we heard from 3 organizations on the exceptional work they have done on EiE. So I believe this was very useful for people who are venturing into this like initiatives, and also it was like a very good learning experience. So I believe that we need to have more sessions like this to even more see identify organizations and to learn what kind of initiatives that they're doing. So once again, I'd like to thank all our 3 speakers for your valuable time and your efforts that you've put in for this sessions. It was very useful and very informative for us. So we have recorded the session and we'll be putting it up in our YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to hear it one more time, definitely you can access it there. So once again, I'd like to thank all the speakers and also all the participants who have stayed with us. Thank you so much, everyone. The 3rd session in the series of education in emergency, it will be on best practices on an international level. So definitely, you'll all receive an email regarding this. So until then, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.